was the most ungratifying real can pop ever. The fake one sounded way better. Welcome to Beerfield. I am your host, Chris Hopper, at HopBFF with two P's, as always, joined by at Beerfield30, and I definitely should have introduced Ryan Miner while he was in the middle of sneezing, at Ryan Miner _FFB.
That's why I muted it.
Bless you.
Thank you. What is going on, guys?
Not
On this beautiful Friday.
Not a whole lot. Rare Friday recording for us. Not a normal thing, but you know, schedules are what they are. So
that's right.
We're coming to you on a Friday. We've got 2022 NFL Draft Class look back. As we look back at rookies, we actually have a surprisingly large amount of news to get through. That's in part because we waited an extra day or so to record, but also in part just because the offseason started. So you don't know the Super Bowl happened last Sunday. You probably should know that.
No.
Yeah. Did it really?
Yeah.
It's not this Sunday?
Actually, it was just a Rihanna concert.
Rihanna,
Rihanna and her baby tearing it up. Yeah. Other than that, we got some beer for you. So let's go ahead and get into what we're drinking. And we got a lot of news and a lot of stuff to get to. So we're just going to roll this thing right along.
What's fueling Beerfield?
Dan, why don't you kick us off?
So I wasn't sure if Ryan's had this on before. Like I know he's done I think one or two of the NAs, but I had a client give me a Sam Adams hazy NA. So I haven't had an NA. I haven't had it. Yeah, I mean I'm huge right now. So I haven't done any hazy NAs yet. Can't really. I mean, hops isn't any alcohol, so it's not like you can load up and hops see what happens. But
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how the this compares to the generally lighter bodies that NA has. Compared to a lot of the fuller bodies that people tend to associate with these hazies. So.
Good call out, by the way, for hops not adding alcohol. A lot of people falsely associate double dry hopped and triple dry hop stuff with more alcohol, and that's not the case. Usually they're bigger beers to hold up to the amount of hop aroma you're putting in it for a balance perspective, but it's not the hops that add alcohol to it.
The amount of people that claim to be it's smart about beer, it's that actually thinks that it's true that hops add booze, and it's just like, dude.
There's a difference.
The first thing they teach you, man. Pay attention.
There's a difference between a double IPA and a double dry hopped IPA. They are not one and the same. Double IPAs are higher ABV. Double dry hopped IPAs are high aroma.
When they're fresh.
Exactly.
Yeah, when they're fresh.
When they're fresh. Ryan, what do you got?
I have a Shorts Brewing Pure Michigan Winter Pilsner.
Nice. Really give Shorts another shot. I haven't done that since like week 3 of season 1 when I had something terrible from Friar Tuck, which was probably a bajillion years old, and never brought him back in.
Shorts. I haven't done.
God,
I don't remember the last time. Yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah, I haven't shopping at Friar Tuck.
I don't remember the last time I had shorts.
I don't remember the last time you guys even said anything about shorts.
It was probably then because that's when we were recording together and drinking the same stuff.
Well, I mean, I used to see him. I mean, obviously looking for a liquor store, working for Benny's. I used to see shorts all the time, but even then, the distributor that carries shorts in my area does not do a great job of keeping shorts in stock, unless that has changed within the last 2 years. But
all right,
yeah, shorts.
Eat my
shorts.
All right, I am doing another throwback beer that I pulled out of the back of the fridge. This is from Weldworks Brewing. This is on
Weldworks. Wow.
Yeah.
Colorado.
Weldworks out of Colorado. So this was on, good Lord, year and a half ago. This is a 7-layer magic bar and milk stout. So this is a stout with milk chocolate chips, butterscotch chips, white chocolate chips, toasted coconut, macadamia nut, graham cracker, and milk sugar. Let's see.
Yikes.
I do have a date on this beer. It's 3/12/21. So I've had this one for a little bit.
Sounds like it.
Probably about a year and a half. But it's a milk stout, and those hold up longer, even usually beyond the Best Buy date. So not too worried about it. More on that about halfway through the show. And now, presented by the FF Faceoff, fffaceoff.com for all of your written article needs, as well as Anthony Saravino on their podcast, who does a great job with his content, guest on the show a couple times. So make sure you check those guys out. Big supporters of us. Ryan writes for them, does a fantastic job over there. So this news segment presented by the FF Faceoff.
Oh, nice.
I am so proud of you, Chris.
Thanks.
News.
I'm changing up how I throw it in every week. You just never know. All right. Starting off, newest to oldest, Washington hired Eric Bieniemy as their assistant head coach and offensive coordinator. So, head coaching rumors for a long time surrounding Bieniemy. Still didn't land a head coaching gig, but jumps for a different offensive coordinator gig with an assistant head coach title. This is going to be interesting because Washington right now plans on going with Sam Howell at quarterback. We don't know what you're going to have there. They do have some pieces. But I see this as a chance for Bieniemy to get out from under Andy Reid's shadow. And, if he flies, he's going to fly. He gets a chance to help rebuild an offense, pick a quarterback, do his thing here. Clearly what was going on in KC wasn't giving him the clout he needed to land a head coaching gig. So get out from under that. Get under a defensive-minded head coach with an offense that you can build up yourself with the assistant head coach title so you can get done. I think it's a good move for Bieniemy, and I think it's a good move for Washington for whatever quarterback they bring in.
I mean, it's going to give him a shot to call plays.
Yes.
He doesn't call plays in KC, which is kind of, I think, why he hasn't got his head coaching job. You hit all the big pieces. We're going to actually see if he's going to be, given the hype that's warranted. We're going to see if that pays off. I have this particular feeling that Howell's not going to be the day one starter. Just
not with everything that's out there. I'm kind of with you on that.
There's you don't bring him in with kind of his whole aura, plus give him the fancy new assistant head coach title and not let him kind of feel the waters and see what happens with some of these
There's Chris's sneeze.
There you go. Hold on. I guess at some point it'll be me.
Probably.
Yeah, and we'll get this. It's hard for me to envision him not being able to at least go through his own, QB roundtable essentially.
Right.
And we'll see what happens.
Well, especially with the QBs that could possibly be available. I mean, like Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr being available.
Zach Wilson.
No. I don't know if I do want Zach Wilson. I mean, if he can flip Zach Wilson and make Zach Wilson
he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer after the first year.
Yeah, if he can do what Dable did
monstrosity.
If he can do what Dable did with
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, do with him, then okay. But
I don't see make him a game manager that just turn him into Alex Smith.
Probably gonna get $35 million a year. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, whatever.
I just guaranteed Alex Smith. I just guaranteed Alex Smith is going to get mentioned twice in this show.
Great job, Dable. You're going to make sure that your franchise overpays a quarterback. This should be a journeyman.
Not his fault.
I know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know that it'll be Sam Howell alone going for this job. I don't know if they bring in somebody that's going to be a surefire starter. Like Derek Carr is going to get a chance to start wherever he lands. Jimmy Garoppolo will probably get a chance to start wherever he lands. This is a situation though where you could see another, veteran come in and try to compete for the starting job, and where they don't necessarily spin big here, but try to assemble, a quarterback roundtable of let them compete and see who can win it. Go from there.
Could it be a spot for Jimmy G?
Could bring Taylor Heineke back too, but.
Oh, there any veteran journeyman that has any resemblance of starting time. Yeah, he's gonna look. I think they'll look everywhere. Now, I mean, they won't bring these guys all in, but
right, they're gonna bring somebody in.
And it's going to be, based on cost too. Like I maybe Washington decides to pay a little up and go grab Jimmy G, but I mean, why not bring back Taylor Heineke, or why not try to go out and get like a Gardner Minshew, like someone that's going to cost you less in both, price and potential draft capital.
Yeah, let him compete with Sam Howell and go from there.
Yeah,
I'm with you on
Yeah,
that.
I like that.
Yeah. Keeping it with the Chiefs, Matt Nagy promoted back to offensive coordinator in Kansas City. He was the offensive coordinator in 2016 and 2017 when Alex Smith was the starting quarterback. Andy Reid will still call plays. So, yeah, we're just back to where we were before Patrick Mahomes was a starter. But this is still Andy Reid's offense. Matt Nagy now, a lot of rumors swirling he's being seen his Andy Reid's successor when he does decide to hang it up. So I guess maybe he'll learn more while he's there the second time. I don't know. Seems like a good dude, but didn't adapt well in Chicago.
I mean, I guess if they want to give Mahomes more of the Aaron Rodgers range, why not just keep a guy that he's obviously have a good relationship with? Right. And that's the only benefit to Nagy is that we know what the offense will likely be like, at least with Reid still there. Nagy's going to just be the same thing as he was during this era. So
right. His assistant head coach this go around, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah,
before getting the OC job. So I don't think that changes a lot. Just gonna get Matt Nagy more clout he may not deserve. But he's a Super Bowl champ. That doesn't bother me as much as it does some other Bears fans. The Panthers. This is long, so bear with me. They're hiring Rams assistant head coach Thomas Brown for their offensive coordinator vacancy. They've hired Parks Frazier as their passing game coordinator. They've hired former Lions and Colts head coach Jim Caldwell as a senior assistant coach. They also hired Josh McCown as their quarterbacks coach and Dom Capers as a senior defensive assistant. So there's a
whole new look.
There's a lot of offensive clout there joining Frank Reich.
Yeah.
First and foremost, you pluck somebody from McVay, you're bringing in Jim Caldwell, who never got the respect that I feel like he deserved. Parks Frazier was a passing game coordinator for somebody. I don't remember who. And then Josh McCown, who was getting some OC looks coming in as the quarterback coach. That's pretty good.
Especially now that they got to be looking for another quarterback.
Right. No, I agree. I think the offensive infrastructure is definitely going to be in place there for them to try to revamp that thing entirely, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Ryan? Jim Caldwell mentioned.
No. Hey, he got screwed out of the Lions, but that's okay. That was the Lions' fault.
Yep. Derek Carr officially released by the Raiders after refusing a trade to the Saints as a final FU. Basically said, nah, you're going to release me. I'm not getting you guys anything on the way out the door, which good for him. Because when it comes to things that are
great
evil,
for him.
I hate the Raiders, so good for him.
I mean, he probably will based off how the compensatory pick system works. Okay. I'm sure he'll net the Raiders a 3rd round pick in 24.
Okay. Yes. But that ain't what they're getting more in a trade.
I know.
But he's been linked to the Jets, Panthers, and Titans.
Any team
as well as the
Saints that needs a veteran back. Yeah, he'll be like a lesser Kirk Cousins in 18. I'm sure he'll be the top wanted vet prospect, which
Jets or Panthers are definitely preferred out of that thing.
If Jets swing and miss on Rodgers,
yes.
I think it'll be like with what Denver did after Rodgers, but not to their full extent of obviously trading for,
or hopefully not being terrible.
And then, we can't promise that.
Yeah.
They can easily still be terrible.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's the goddamn Jets.
It is. What do you think, Ryan?
It's the Jets. Yes. I don't know. It's hard to see where Derek Carr's really going to go in the long run. I mean, yeah, he visited them, but that doesn't mean. I still think he's going to go to the Saints in the long run.
So the Jets are your preference out of those landing spots, or?
No, I think the Saints. I like the Saints better. Like the Jets would be the greatest one for him, but I don't think they're like Derek Carr is really that much of an upgrade to get him to that next step.
over Zach Wilson.
I think he. I mean, yeah, I think it's
Do you mean Mike White?
Step up.
No, Zach Wilson.
But I don't know. Derek Carr's never thrown for what he threw for 30 touchdowns once. He's thrown for 4,000 yards every year or under. So I mean, it's like he's just like a game manager type quarterback. He's not that type of quarterback. I feel that's going to put him up and be up.
He's got
up and beyond.
He's going to the Saints.
4,000 yard seasons. One of those was 4,800 yards. Didn't have a ton of touchdowns that year, but did throw for 4,800 yards one season, which is pretty good. Very low TD rate, 4.4. Actually, last season was not his career high. Actually, his early year TD rates were a lot higher. Decent interception rate. So, yeah, it's Kirk Cousins plus.
Yeah. So I mean, to go to the Titans too, though, it's like, where do you go?
Cousins side. It's actually just Kirk Cousins.
It's more erratic in all phases. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Slightly more mobile, probably more big play upside, and dumber, and throws more interceptions, and probably takes as much sacks.
Yeah.
Good job saying so you're getting Kirk Cousins.
Slightly worse Kirk Cousins.
Overall wrong, and he goes to Atlanta.
I can't wait for someone though. I can't wait for New Orleans
Although,
to pay him.
they do have,
even though they probably can't afford him.
Weirdly similar in TD and INT rate.
I mean, if I was New Orleans, I would just say screw it and not sign him at all, and just say, you know what, let's just do a complete rebuild.
With what picks?
With what picks and what?
And with what? It was like they can't start their rebuild to like 25.
Yeah,
we're totally screwed. We can't afford to buy anyone. Let's just put out replacements out there right now. And just
I fucking hope not.
Put replacements out there for the next 3 years.
Philly doesn't need more draft picks. Doesn't need high first rounders from them.
Yeah,
that was their own freaking fault. That was such a stupid fucking trade. I don't care who you are.
23.
It was a dumb trade. That trade only makes sense is for a quarterback or a left tackle in the top 3. Just a wide receiver in a deep class with no quarterback throwing him the football. Like, oh God, so many.
And they neutered Jameis.
They were like, we gotta go with Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Aaron Jones reworked a restructured deal with Green Bay, so he'll still be there for 2023. Pretty meh last season.
That team is totally going for Caleb Williams.
They gotta be.
Caleb Williams. They're starting Jordan Love. They're going.
I would say you got no Love this year.
No,
Jordan Love is terrible.
Nope,
he was terrible as a prospect. He's probably so terrible now.
I love Jordan Love and helping them get Green Bay down to 4th place in the NFC North.
No, I don't want them to. Yeah, fine, they can finish 4th place, but not get Caleb Williams or not get a top draft or not get one of the top quarterbacks. We're good. I'm fine with it. I don't want to see them get rewarded.
Nobody
for one
does.
Bad season. I want them
to
struggle.
You're assuming
the way that we have all struggled.
You're assuming that Gutekunst is smart enough to make the right pick.
That's true. He is the guy that drafted Jordan Love, and then
he traded up for him.
Yeah, he traded up for Jordan Love. drafted a running back in round 3, a halfback tweener in round 2, round 2 in Dillon, round 3 with the halfback tweener tight end. They don't draft well. As Bama says, they don't draft well. They haven't drafted well.
Who are you referring to as a halfback tweener tight end?
That's the Josh, was it DeGuara?
Oh, Josiah DeGuara. Okay, as long as you weren't besmirching Jay Sternberger, who they ruined somehow.
Oh my God.
Jay Sternberger is just a slower not inline move tight end.
It wasn't
that
slow.
Could never. I mean, I don't remember Jace. He didn't give me a reason to want to keep remembering him.
Really? Hold on, I'll get a look now.
Things we have to know. Draft crushes that
Actually,
didn't pan out.
He was pretty slow. 4.75.
Oh, yeah, that
was pretty bad.
Have you seen tight ends nowadays, Chase?
How did we miss that?
I mean, a lot of people miss that.
We learned.
A lot of people liked him as a. And he was the 3rd round. He was authorized, right? They took tight
Anyway,
ends that
enough
year.
about our failures and on to the Eagles. Arizona hired Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles defensive coordinator, as their head coach after
Ugh.
watching him get beat by the same play 3 times on their field.
Oh, dude, I could not believe that.
They,
Oh my god! Like,
I say that tongue in cheek. He took an Eagles defense that played better than the sum of their parts to the best defense in the NFL. That deserves a head coaching look. Right?
I mean, he took one of the deepest defensive rosters, if not the deepest defensive roster in football.
But he didn't fuck it up.
Fine, dude, great. So he's Mike LaFleur or whoever. Like, he's Aaron Rodgers' OC. He's Peyton Manning's OC, where these guys, fail miserably when they get away from, the comfort of having all pro.
So he gets no credit at all for.
Of course, he gets credit for it, but I mean, 3 straight plays.
I mean, maybe it's the player's fault. But
And gives us a worse anticlimactic finish to what could have been one of the top 5 best Super Bowls ever. God damn it, Bradbury. I was so
it was
enthralled
such
in
a
that
fun
game.
back and forth game.
It was
That
a great,
reminded
it was a
me
great
of-
game.
Jalen Hurts. I'm telling you right now, Jalen Hurts outperformed Mahomes majority of that game.
He did.
Even though he's and people are still shitting on him. Dude, did you not watch?
Did you not
fucking
watch
Super Bowl?
it? Because here's what I saw in that.
He was
Super Bowl.
incredible.
Here's what I saw
It was
in
a great
that game. Here's what I saw in that game. The Eagles outplayed the Chiefs. They executed the game plan that they wanted to execute. They controlled the time of possession. They had a 10-point lead. They did almost everything right that they needed to do. They completely controlled the football. Jalen Hurts was moving the ball at will. He was using his legs. He was making beautiful throws. Went in with a 10-point lead. And then the Eagles also made more mistakes than the Chiefs, and that's why they lost. The holding call, the
Hurts fumble.
the
That
Hurts
was
fumble. Yeah, there were just the Chiefs didn't have the ball a lot, but they pretty much played mistake free. They didn't shoot themselves in the
Mahomes.
foot. Yeah, he did.
It wasn't that Hurts wasn't big enough in the moment. Mahomes.
No, Hurts was
Mahomes
fantastic in the moment. Completely
Yeah.
outplayed Mahomes, but Mahomes, and he had to be perfect with what they with
God.
the little bit of time
He
he
clutched
had.
at the right
and
time.
He was
Yeah.
perfect with the little bit of time they had and played through an injury. Good for
This
him.
is the last time anyone ever doubts Kansas City with Mahomes
Yes.
and losing some pieces.
He actually did better this year with losing that piece.
Yeah, it wasn't so funneled.
Yes.
All right, we got a question. Bama with the question.
What's up, Bama?
Let's hear it.
All right. Bama's asking if we would trade the rookie 101, which in most people's case is Bijan. Would you trade the rookie 101 for the 103, a 24 first, in an Empire League? His QBs are Mahomes, Rapist Watson, Mac Jones, and then he has a running back, just Javonte Williams and a bunch of pieces.
So is Bijan? Oh, hold on. We got a hoodie theft situation here. Sorry,
I mean,
Bama.
we're all married, so I mean, we have all lost.
Sorry,
hoodies at
Bama.
some
We
point in
got a
time.
hoodie situation going on here. Give us
Clearing it
just
up
a
now.
second. There's a hoodie issue ongoing. So let me ask this: is Bijan still generally considered the 101 in Superflex?
Yeah.
Yes.
For what all I've seen, right?
Okay, great. I am
now,
making
he
this
still
trade in a
is.
fucking heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because if you guys didn't pick up
Oh, I know.
on my message the other day, I am a little whelmed by Bijan. That's not saying he's bad. I'm not shitty. He's the most well-rounded back in the class, easily. I didn't see. I saw a lot of very good traits there that combined together to make a very good running back. I didn't see anything that I would consider necessarily elite to Bijan's game. That's a cult.
I think
that is a hot
his-
take for a lot of people, I'm sure.
I think his lawn speed is what's gonna. I think if he runs the combine, I think or
Sure.
does it or does the 40 at his pro day, His launch speed, I don't think he has like elite launch speed. His vision though is fucking incredible. I think his vision's insane. Like especially in the open field for a guy his size.
The vision's fine. The agility is above average. The power that he runs with isn't violent, but it's definitely there. The long speed's all right. And like I said, he's somebody I project is very good, but not like the Dynasty running back 101 before he ever takes a snap, like some people are. And that's what this is going to be. This whole offseason is, it's going to sound like I'm hating on Bijan when really I'm not, but I don't think you should anoint him that quick, is the 101 in Dynasty.
This is this is a product of Brees Hall tearing his ACL.
Yeah.
Of Kenneth Walker kind of just being who we thought he was, but probably still, meh. JT getting hurt for most of the year.
So was he getting
also
back
being underwhelming?
The 103?
103 in a 24 first. In an Empire League, for those of you who may not know what an Empire League is, it's a ongoing pot that's added into it.
Who are your running backs, Bama? Because you told us the quarterbacks. Who are your running backs?
His running backs are Javonte Williams and a bunch of scrubs. That's what he says.
Okay, so Javonte Williams and a bunch of scrubs. That's dicey. Here's the thing.
I would make this move.
Yeah, I would. I would make
with what I see.
I would make this move too, because of that 103, you're gonna get, in my opinion, one of two things. You're gonna have a shot at Stroud if he lands well, because I'm assuming that in Superflex that Young's gonna go 102. So
I've seen that go up. It depends where Stroud. I think it depends how far Stroud drops. I've seen, like, he's the one between him and Young. Young is constantly in the top 3 in mock drafts I've seen for the NFL draft. Stroud is all over the place.
And if you want to go quarterback, though, then if Stroud goes later, then you trade out of that, because it's not Will Levis at that pick.
It's not Levis, and it's not Anthony Richardson dead eyes.
No, it's not. So, and Hooker, I like him, but he's 25. So
I think he'll be late first at best, probably day 2.
Yeah, and there's potential there, but it's not potential you use the 103 on. So I think if you go quarterback, then you could even move back further from the 103 if that's what you're looking for. Or the other option is at that level, you look at if Gibbs lands well. I think he's got a lot of outside explosive ability, a lot of balance in his game. I see why the Alvin Kamara comps are happening. Now, Kamara's an extreme case, but I definitely see why the Gibbs to Kamara comps are there. He was used in a split backfield, but he has the contact balance. He has the outside explosiveness. He has the pass catching ability to be very, very good if you want to add on to that running back core at 103. Or I think you could potentially even move back depending on what happens with Stroud and land fine there. And then you got a 2024 first on top of it to boot. When for me, I think that people think Bijan's going to be the Dynasty running back 1 coming out of the season. And I think he's probably top 6 or 7. I don't see him coming out as, the one in his rookie season or anything like that.
I wouldn't put him above JT, Hall, or Walker at this point. Right. But like I said, it's because of where the running back landscape is. Bijan's also going to get top half first round draft capital. So when you bake in literally everything, it's going to be like, he's going to hit a lot of what people want from a statistical and from a draft profile standpoint, on top of getting that insane draft capital. So he's going to walk into like a potential 300 touch year, like rookie year, which is why the hype's there. And plus, he's been a Debbie. Obviously, he's been the Debbie RB1. I'm sure Ryan knows this too. He's been the Debbie RB1 since.
Well, and I know it too because that's exactly
Zach Evans.
That's exactly. And Zach Evans runs super violent. I love Zach Evans for his violent running style, and I thought that Evans and Gibbs both showed more elite traits than Bijan and what they did well, but than the other two.
Nothing will shock me.
Was overall a better prospect. Yeah,
if Gibbs comes in and weighs bigger, because my concern is that he's gonna underwhelm with his weigh in, and then he'll end up landing in a committee backfield. Like I'm gonna laugh when he goes to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
it's gonna be this insane moment where it's like he will not get 20+ touches a game, and he'll still be He'll still be an RB1 in most cases because of it.
The hard part for me with Bijan, I think, is that I don't see an elite trait. I see a lot of very good traits. And yes, the statistical metrics are there, but he wasn't the best in his class in any high level metric. There were some lower level metrics like broken tackles, yards after contact, blah, 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 that we've seen be very successful at the NFL level. If you look at guys like Ramondre Stevenson, who came in and, 2 years ago were, that's what stuck out with particularly him and Khalil Herbert. And then this past year, you see both guys pay dividends. So, I mean, I'm not discounting that at all. But I think that's a long way of saying that I definitely make this trade. I would do this 100% if it were me.
Ryan, give us here. Hopper and I have been going back and forth.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this trade at all. Because if I have the 101 pick, I don't want to trade it in February. I want to trade it at the day of the draft.
That's
so whenever
fair.
we're up,
that's
whenever
also
the draft
a very
starts,
fair point.
I feel that value of him will go up even more. So I feel like you could actually get more than the 103 in a 2024.
It's literally going to keep rising. Maybe you get a slight dip if he doesn't have a long 40 or a fast a 40 time, but
the flip side of that is if he comes out and runs 4.45 and weighs in at 210 or so.
Well, right now it's 6 foot 250. If you're in a 4.45 at 225 and he's more close to JT, then you're right.
He's gonna skyrocket.
Like a flat 4.4. He'll need to run a flat 4.4. Like he'll need to Saquon, JT, the combine.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's still going first round because of the pedigree around him, and literally every circle is penciling him first round. Like there is no question. I don't think he should go first round because I don't think any running back should ever go first round, but he will. And with so many, just the back half of the first round, just so many chances for teams to kind of, pull that trigger, the luxury running back pick that we saw, with Casey and Clyde. That I agree. I think Ryan's got a point though too. It's you don't have to worry about making the move right now, and that kind of even feels light. Like
I feel like you're giving away because
it feels kind of light.
Yeah,
and his roster. So Bama listed as wide receivers. He's got Higgins, DJ Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Traylon Burks, Michael Gallup, and then a bunch of scrubs afterwards. Like outside of Mahomes right now and Higgins, it's a bit questionable of a roster and whether or not you can maximize the benefit of a Bijan.
I would try to trade Javonte and one of those receivers and try to get another running back. That's what I would do. I would just try to sell high on the name, just on the Javonte name, because people want him. But the ACL to me is like similar to that of J.K. Dobbins.
Similar to Dobbins, based on what Dan said.
Yeah.
So similar to that. It's like, do we get the same type of Dobbins play where he plays, it looks good for one game, then you don't see him for 7 games?
Bigger back too, right? So
yeah. And there's no guarantee that he ever steps into a full-time role that we know of at this point. Like I said, he may not, like we've talked about in previous shows, we may not see a full season from him until his final contract year with Denver.
So I think hearing what Ryan said, tie it all back together and remember to do my job as host. I think that, Dan, you and I were more taking the stance of we make the trade because we agree with the value, but I don't disagree with Ryan that you could get higher value. So I think that's probably a reason to not pull the trigger at this time. There's the inverse, I guess, that, maybe Bijan takes the combine and the value goes down, but I highly doubt that's going to be the case. I see him as somebody who ups his value at the combine based on, what I looked at film-wise and stats-wise. He's somebody that I think, the way I'm reading the tea leaves right now, will have a good combine and force me to up my take on him, which I think will up his value. I don't disagree with Ryan. Dan, I think we were more so on the make the trade side because the value is good right now, but I don't disagree that the value could be better.
I mean, Lance Sterling also came out and just launched his final film grades too for the 23 class, which is obviously have gotten a shit ton of talk, and a lot of people like to use it because he's got a pretty strong record.
You like his film grades more than mine?
I mean, I don't really care for film. I take you guys all into account, but Lance does have. I know.
I do both. You know that. See. Right. So I have John. Gibbs had a slightly higher film grade than Bijan did. He was ahead of Evans. Bijan had a slightly higher statistical grade. I weigh film a little bit more, so the composite scores right now are 242 on Gibbs and 239 on Bijan. So I got him in the same tier, essentially, is what that works out to.
Gibbs is gonna be really interesting because I think his landing spot's gonna be
before the combine.
I think he's
in, so
yeah, like I do think he'll be more scheme dependent. To see if he reaches that his full on ceiling. I can see Gibbs just completely running away and
Gibbs looks explosive.
We'll see. Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah.
I hate Bijan going to Buffalo. So Lance has
Zach Moss.
6.8. I mean, he's got
out of 10.
6.8 is not a bad.
What's that out
I mean,
of?
it's a high score. I think Lance is out of 9. Maybe it is out of 10, but
I have him at a 3.7 out of 5. I got Gibbs at a 3.9 out of 5.
Lance compares him to Josh Jacobs.
That's a good. Actually,
Ryan, you're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, you're on mute. Actually, I completely.
That's why.
I completely
That's why
fucking
I like
agree
Noah's
with
Ward.
that comp. Actually, based on what I saw, I don't hate that comp. I think that's a pretty fair comp. I was thinking Michael Turner with more pass catching upside, and that's Josh Jacobs. So, yeah, I'm on board with that. I like.
Got
that
it. It's
one.
so he becomes Josh Jacobs and actually gets a pass catching role.
Josh Jacobs
Man.
from last year, which would actually not be a bad thing.
No, I mean he was an RB1.
Yep.
He was the RB1 for
The
a while.
RB1. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's yeah.
The news? Did we all answer? Anything
Yeah,
else
we
on
did.
this trade
Yeah.
before we wrap it
Yeah.
up?
No.
You guys
no.
said make the trade. I said hold.
I'm fine with
I'm fine with. I think I
Yeah.
came to your side because of your reasoning of hold for better value, but still trade. Like I've got a 101 in the league, and I'm looking at this like I might trade out of this.
I'm waiting. Yeah, because I know
Depending
which league
on-
that is. I'm in a really good spot in that league. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens.
Because I want to go with my stance. I want to go. I think Bryce Young in that league, and I can absolutely do with the 101. But I'm waiting for the combine to see if if Bijan takes off, and that's where people want to go. Then I'll wheel and deal and move around.
I'll be
a little
say
bit.
it's going to be hilarious to see if we're going to get to Barkley levels, which we're
Yeah.
pretty much there now. Like it's on even par.
Yeah.
With his hype at 18, but that 18 class had a significantly better running back class, at least in prospect wise coming out. Obviously, it didn't turn out to be that way.
That's also
Than this class is.
That's also true. This class, I like
a
Evans.
lot of undersized running
Yeah,
backs. That could be a
lot.
thing where in 18 it was Nick Chubb, and
and bigger backs.
Dice, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
They're saying there's no bell cow backs. It's a lot of complimentary backs in this draft.
besides
right now.
obviously besides Bijan, if Gibbs does come, if he pulls an ETN and gets to 215, there is
He'll
a
be a
realistic shot
he
that you're
could
going to
be
see
a
a lot
bell
of
cow.
Gibbs.
Yeah,
He could be. He wasn't utilized that way, so we'll see. But
Evans, I don't see the pass catching ability, but if he can develop a little bit of that, a la David Montgomery, he could also hit that role. Anyway, a lot about rookie running backs. Preview of what's to come here in a couple months. Grand jury indicted the aforementioned Alvin Kamara on a conspiracy to commit battery resulting in substantial bodily harm from last year's incident in Las Vegas. League will probably not rule on this until the criminal proceedings are done. That's just normally how they operate. So I think the initial hearing on this is set for March 2nd sometime. Keep an eye on it throughout the offseason. League probably won't act until around training camp time or so if they do anything.
I'm guessing 6 games. I'm guessing 6 games, even if it's settled.
I don't think it'll get up to 6 years.
I think it'll be 6+. But
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't
I
think
mean-
I think once I think with the I think the video part of it is because the league doesn't it cares what happens in the courts, but it doesn't need a conviction to make a ruling, and it's about whether or not they want to try to make a point. I can see 6 games.
I don't
plus.
think they try to make a point out of male on male club fighting.
It's the video.
Well, maybe, but it's still male on male club fighting, and I think that the point they make out of this is probably 4 and done.
But we'll see.
I
I
think
mean,
the league is going to be soft on this one. I know that they've stepped up on, rightfully, domestic violence, sexual abuse, gambling. They've came down hard on those things because I think they're huge. Gambling has financial impacts, and the league cares about money first. The other two things are huge.
yeah.
Are huge societal things that we need to get better at as a society because it's bullshit. And male on male club fighting is, while shitty, I mean, this is going to line somewhere up with, probably a 4-gamer. I think. I don't think
We'll
they
see.
go half it.
There's no need
Thanks.
for us to do too much speculating on it now.
Not
Anyways,
yet.
with
Wait until
So-
let the legal proceedings play out, and then we'll speculate.
yeah.
Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard had a clause in his contract that auto-voided 3 days after the Super Bowl. He's now a free agent.
Oh, good. So we get more number 2, number 3 receivers.
2 receiver with
That's
injury
cool.
history. DeAndre Hopkins had his no trade clause. I didn't have this in the news, but just remembering this now, reading about clauses that change. His PED suspension voided his no trade clause, so he's eligible to be moved.
He wants to be moved too.
Yeah.
He requested it be traded. I don't think the trade clause wouldn't have probably mattered in this case because I think he wants to
Yeah.
be moved.
So watch him through the offseason as a true one.
Yeah.
Jags wide receiver Calvin Ridley applied for reinstatement to the NFL. We'll talk about that when and if it happens.
It should.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, we'll probably spend a little time on this one. The Colts hired former Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen as their new head coach. And then Jim Irsay is quoted as saying they wanted an offensive-minded coach. They will need to develop a young QB, which glad he came to that realization 4 years late. And the kid from Alabama doesn't look too bad.
All right. It's already been confirmed. Colts traded up number 1.
Colts moving up with the Bears for Bryce Love. Colts and Bears trade partners, too. So good link between those two franchises.
That's right. Things you'd love to see.
Steichen's a good hire for the Colts as they try to bring in a new quarterback and develop him and everything like that. The Colts have needed to commit to a rebuild for a little bit. And, they've done it a little backwards, but you've got some good pieces there with Michael Pittman,
I think Pittman's gone. I think he's traded.
think he'll trade.
Yeah, I think
I
he'll
don't think
be
he's
part of
traded.
the. I think he's.
You think
I
he's
think
part of
he'll-
that deal?
I think he's a part of the deal for the Bears, or they may flat out trade him. I just don't think it's going to line up to what they want it to be. Go through that rebuild, not have to worry about expending a lot of money to a wide receiver. I mean, it should fit better because he'll be a better receiver with a rookie quarterback. But I think Pittman will be a part of the Bears.
And I like Pittman with the Bears because that's what they need. I mean, you've already got Claypool. We already got Mooney to work deep, Claypool to work gadget. So you just need a good, reliable wide receiver that
It's
can
so
work
weird.
mid.
Claypool and gadget just things.
Yeah.
He's so fucking large and athletic.
Yes.
Find more ways to use him, and hopefully they will.
Yeah, I do think Steichen's a good hire though for them as they go into this. And
It's a good start.
Sounds like
Yep.
they're gonna want to trade up. So Colts are a team worth watching because generally I like them. I think they have a good infrastructure in place. I think they have some good pieces in place, but they've tried to patchwork the thing for too long. So they need to actually build a foundation
it's
here.
time to just let ship sail and start over.
Here's one for you. I put this one in here because it's fun. Ryan, anything on Steichen?
No, I'm good.
Houston is hiring Corey Undlin, formerly of the 49ers, but the job title they're giving him is defensive passing game coordinator, which think if you're coordinating your defense to pass the football, you might be doing it wrong. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a passing scheme defense.
Defensive passive
Cover
I don't know.
3, zone, cover 2.
defensive passing game coordinator. I'm assuming it means to coordinate the pass defense, but the way that it was worded His defensive passing game coordinator is like, all right, I'm coordinating the defense, passing the football.
It's like assistant to the manager.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Yeah.
I'm the assistant to the regional manager.
I'm assistant regional manager. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're assistant to the regional manager.
Assistant regional manager. Ravens hired Todd Monken as their offensive coordinator, formerly Georgia's OC the last 2 seasons, last seen in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield.
I've been looking at this, obviously being a Ravens fan. He's a chameleon, right? Before his years with Cleveland,
Tampa
he was
Bay
with Tampa
and
Bay
Jameis.
during the Jameis Winston, Ryan
It's just
Fitzpatrick era.
Beautiful.
So I do like this move. I think he got an unfair kind of shit show with the whole Cleveland thing with Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah.
Obviously that team was just reaching insane heights of popularity and expectations. Something Detroit should be a little careful of. I don't know if they're on the Cleveland level yet, but they're getting up there.
Yeah.
No, everyone knows our defense sucks.
No, it's not
But it's
that.
improving.
It's the team itself is becoming such a darling, and people are so excited and love it so much that it's
Only setting yourself up to be let down.
yeah, it sees me
Yeah.
out. But anyways,
No,
But
we're
anyway,
not viewing it like
for
that.
for Monken, he blended with Georgia into more of a conservative passing game. When they had Jameis, they took the lid off and opened it up and tried to use that big arm, and it led to one of the most exciting seasons in NFL history.
30 and 30, baby.
30 and
I want the
30,
30 for 30 for the 30 and 30.
Which that is just one of the most beautiful stat lines for all the wrong reasons that I've ever seen in my life.
It's
And
amazing for
then-
fantasy if you're not in Scott Fishbowl.
Underwhelmed with the team that should have been underwhelming. So I agree. He's a chameleon, but he's a chameleon particularly when it comes to the passing game, which is where the Ravens have struggled. So this to me is a swing in the right direction for them where the Greg Roman offense is very run focused. But if you can get Lamar Jackson because nobody's ever doubted Lamar Jackson's arm talent, right? It's just been how they've used the receivers, how they've used the passing game. We know Lamar Jackson.
Well, there's been a lot of doubt on Lamar Jackson, whether or not he could become a pass, especially early on.
Let me rephrase that. Nobody's ever doubted Lamar Jackson's arm strength and his ability to zip a football and friggin' fling it. It's the accuracy and more so the
decision-making processing,
decision-making process,
yeah.
that type of thing that have been doubted with Lamar Jackson. Monken can blend in and I think get the most out of him as a passer, and we'll see how they maintain, a running game out of this, I guess. But he's managed to be all right at that in Georgia. But if he can develop Lamar Jackson as a passer while also keeping that playmaking ability intact, oh man, I think this is exciting for Baltimore.
Well, yeah, look what we did with Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, right. They took him as a day 3 pop sec, and now he's a French first rounder at 25 years old.
French
I
first
guess.
rounder.
Yeah, I know. We all know day 2, but there's a couple of franchises like Green Bay that make terrible decisions. So
That's true.
like trade up for Jordan Love.
True. Patrick Mahomes is going to be ready for OTAs because it was a high ankle sprain, and that normally takes 5 months to recover from. I think we're in peak offseason for him already. Because that's a real report that he'll be ready for OTAs.
That Coors Light was helping him out a lot in the parade too.
Right.
The videos of him at the parade just fucking pissed drunk is been
That's awesome. I mean, you have to celebrate like that.
How do
Come
you
on.
not love this team? Chad
love that
Henne
team.
announced his retirement from the NFL with a Bud Light in hand as the Super Bowl champion. So good for
Dude,
Chad. Good for Chad
2
Henne.
times Super Bowl
going
champion.
out on top. Yeah, 2-time. Yeah, going out on top.
Good for Chad Henne.
The way that the Hall of Fame quarterback should go out.
Yeah.
Chad Henne.
Any
Yeah,
given
Hall of Fame
Sunday.
backup quarterback.
Hall of Fame backup.
Good for him. He
$40 million.
He played 4 years on a mediocre Miami team, held the clipboard for 10, saved the Chiefs bacon for 1, got 2 Super Bowl rings, and got to retire on top of the world holding a friggin' Bud Light.
Holding a Bud Light in his hands.
Good for you, Chad.
What a
Henne.
fucking superhero ending.
You deserve it.
Beautiful.
I don't know if you deserve it or
deserve
not, but
praise.
everybody deserves that, and you've done nothing to prove that you don't. So good for you, Chad.
Yeah. Cheers.
Andy Reid is not going to retire, stating that I look in the mirror and I'm old, but my heart is young, and I still love what I'm doing. It's after he ate a pizza to celebrate the Super Bowl and some salad to satisfy his chubbiness. So Andy Reid's a good quote, in other words. Commanders are expected to part ways with Carson Wentz this offseason. $26 million in dead cap, $26 million in cap space cleared, $1 in dead cap.
$1.
He has $1 in guaranteed money.
$1 and get that. God, that just
That's
sounds
awesome.
so rude. Here, go buy yourself a half-eaten cheeseburger.
Right, $1.
$1.
So, not sure what the cap reason was for that, but anyway. Because that's got to be some cap magic that I don't understand, right? Why there was $1 in guaranteed money.
Maybe he'll go to the Saints.
Everyone's going to the Saints according to Ryan.
Wentz is going to the
Well,
Colts.
that's only $1.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
we already tried that. Wentz is going to the Jets.
He goes back to. He's gonna go back
going
up
to
Jalen
Carolina.
Hurts.
He's going to, yeah.
Get
After they
to
trade for
compete with
Gardner
Sam
Minshew.
Darnold. Houston's going to hire 49ers passing game coordinator Bobby Slowick as their offensive coordinator.
Like, I don't even know what to think of Houston at all because it's just like there's nothing there that like excites me. So it's kind of hard to look at these
Not yet.
coordinators and be like, okay. What
I
are you
can't
gonna do
wait.
with what?
I can't wait for them to draft.
I don't know. D'Amico Ryan's
Levi
excites me a
Levis.
little bit, but it's going to be the defense that I think outpaces the offense here.
Oh, and that's what I'm talking about is the offense. Like the defense, yes, it's looking great. It's looking like it's coming into something, but that offense, I'm just like, there's
Nothing.
Brandon Cooks who doesn't want to be there.
And nothing beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can say Damian Pierce, but I don't
But
see
Damian Pierce
as
isn't
something that's
exciting. He's a between the tackles grinder that should be an early down back and nothing else. So
yeah, exactly.
And he'll be replaced by another day 3 back probably this year.
right.
Beer review.
It's better be halfway because I don't plan on a 2-hour episode tonight.
Nope.
Ryan, go ahead.
So I had Shorts Brewing Pure Michigan Winter Pilsner, which is an imperial pilsner made with Michigan ingredients, and it tastes very, very piney, if I must say. But it says it's a one-time we cut a load of 3-inch ice bricks out of the Torch Lake, which I don't know if you guys know what Torch Lake is. It's the lake here that kind of looks like the ocean. It's very, very nice lake. So you build a massive ice booth for Beer Fest. Joe jumped a vintage Johnson ski horse, 30 feet, and has ice skied on the last of the bergs in Elk Lake. We love winter. Forget hibernation. Once the snow falls, it's time to bust out the snowsuits. Crack a cold one, because Pure Michigan winter is ready for the season.
Did you just read that off the label?
Yeah. It's a shorty shorts.
And
Again, I'm drinking Hazy NA from Sam Adams. It's like drinking a mango peach, like orange juice. Obviously not the same type of thickness, but it's almost like drinking a lighter body or not lighter, a thinner body peach and mango drink. It's not bad. It packs a lot of the flavor that I think a lot of people would want. A lot of the hop aromas people would want if they're drinking a hazy IPA, whether it be NA or not. So I sometimes will shit on you, Sam Adams, but I will give you the praise. You dry hop this extremely well.
Oh, come the fuck on.
he did a rear review.
Believe it or not, Ryan, I read it straight from the can.
He did a real review, and they didn't read it just straight off the can. All right, I've got these
That's so year one, Ryan. That's so year one.
7-layer magic
Hey,
bar.
I'm in year one still, so
That's fair.
cut me a break.
You've been listening for how long? You should have studied. The
6 years.
7-layer magic bar stout and milk stout. Milk
I
chocolate
copy other people's
chips.
paper.
White. Yeah, just change it up a little bit. Butterscotch chips, white chocolate chips, toasted coconut, macadamia nut, graham cracker, milk sugar. Milk chocolate and white chocolate do come out a little bit on the nose as far as chocolate chips go. There's definitely a bit of butterscotch as you drink it, but it's not like buttery butterscotch or what people would call diacetyl. So it's not slick, basically. It's more of exactly what you'd expect out of a butterscotch chip. Graham cracker, not really there. Definitely a good amount of sweetness, though, that comes through from the milk sugars and the lactose. So overall, this beer has a good amount of depth to it. It's sweet. It's definitely desserty. It does peak through a little bit with the alcohol percentage that it has. Overall, it's a really good drinker. I could probably drink 2 of these and not any more, just because of the fact that it is a little bit sweet, but it's not like super heavy or coolingly sweet, so you can definitely drink more than one. Overall, good job by WeldWorks. Good flavors coming out, and they've held up well over the last couple of years. So, if anything, I think they've meshed a little bit better than the first time I've had it. As some things calm down.
Even with being a year and a half old.
Yeah, so with stouts and adjuncted stouts, some of the flavors, fruit and spice in particular, will fall off a lot. Chocolates and milk sugars and things like that typically won't fall off as hard. But if things are really intense, sometimes aging it will allow them to calm down to a level where things balance out a little bit better. So, I think that's what happened here. Stouts and stouts that aren't really like fruit adjuncted or anything like that usually do tend to hold well. That's why the bourbon counties are kept so long and so well. But stouts do age better than like IPAs and stuff that'll lose flavor a lot quicker and aroma a lot quicker. So
that's why the stouts are around for like 2 to 3 years sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right, let's go ahead and get into this.
We do.
What's up?
Should we do 30 minutes? Make it a little quick. Friday night.
Yes.
We'll make it a little quicker than
Yes.
other ones.
9:45 deadline. Go.
Beer Fueled Look Back.
Also, it is, it's just a rookie year, so it's hard to have an opinion on a lot of these guys.
Very true.
So we're going to start off with the first round wide receivers, because that was really the creme de la creme of this class. So first round wide receivers, you had Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jamison Williams, Jahan Dotson was a first rounder, just in case you forgot, and Traylon Burks, all going early on. So
Don't change anything about your rankings.
no,
Like,
no,
don't change.
not really. Let's start with London, Wilson, Olave, who all performed to varying degrees this year, all in kind of different situations. London was hit or miss in an offense that was hit or miss and not very good. There's still upside to be had there, in my opinion. You're not trying to bail out on any of these 3 guys. You're not trying to sell high on any of these 3 guys either, because they basically had what you would consider and what you'd want to see for rookie years out of a wide receiver 1. Garrett Wilson, really, really not consistent quarterback situation, had some really, really consistent play. Same thing for Chris Olave. I think given the situation all 3 guys were in, you couldn't have hoped for a lot more out of them. Wilson and Olave gave you 1,000-yard seasons. They all gave you 4 touchdowns. London was a bit below that in an offense that wasn't really conducive to the pass. So he equaled Olave's reception total, though.
Buy high on Garrett Wilson. Just do it now. The wide receiver that had to battle the most in competition on a team that is desperate. I mean, desperate to
upgrade.
maximize this window that they're in defensively and playmakers with upgrading the quarterback position. He 25% target share back and forth with Elijah Morris and Corey Davis rotating quarterback carousel was one of the worst quarterbacks this year. And Zach Wilson for the majority for parts of the season, successful with Flacco, Mike White, Josh Johnson. Buy high. I agree with you. Don't sell high on any of these guys. There's no need to, as we said jokingly, but really true. Don't change don't make any big changes to your rankings or your evaluations of these guys yet, but buy high on Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
And then thank me later.
Anything to add here, Ryan? On this?
No, I'm ready to talk about Jameson Williams.
Yeah, let's talk Jameson Williams. So
I know you were. He was like, "Come on, motherfucker."
yeah,
let's
I'm
go.
just sitting there staring at the name. I'm like, let's just move on. I
Oh
don't
my
care about those
God.
guys.
Keep the boner down, Ryan.
let's talk
Yeah.
Jameson Williams. So 40-yard rush, a 41-yard reception, and a touchdown. Played in 6 games. Overall, kind of a lost season coming off the ACL. A lot of us knew that was going to be the case if you drafted him. So, that's probably already accounted for. You're not really going to get a good buy low on Jameson Williams because it was always more of a long-term play. If anything, the only thing that hurts him is how well Amon-Ra St. Brown did play this year. And I don't even know that's a detriment because they're in completely different roles.
It's not a detriment. It's a compliment. And also, what Jameson Williams really did too is he had another play of over 40 yards, also, which was a touchdown against Green Bay in the final game.
Yeah, that was a reception, right?
Yeah, that was called back for a holding.
Yeah.
So I mean, the kid's got it, and that report that he didn't have with Goff, it was there, but they just didn't, like. He's still healing, so he wanted. I think this off season is the time to go buy Jameson Williams because he's one person I see people kind of who say like, "Oh shit, like I spent too high of a draft pick on him. I should just try to get out of him now." If they don't really pay attention and they just read stats.
That?
I've seen a couple of people say like, I spent the 4th pick and I'm willing to trade him.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, that was your mistake. You spent the 4th pick on him.
Right.
I spent the 4th pick on him.
I know you were. That's why I said that. All right. My one question for you, Ryan, is why wasn't he used more as he obviously became healthier? My one concern is it's
he had 1 reception in 6 games.
Well, and he ran less than 10 routes in every game.
That's why too. That's another thing is the route running. So I don't know if the playbook was a complication for him. But
complication, you run fucking deep. You have the best offensive line in football.
Do you think that they were just easing him back in with the coming off the ACL injury and didn't want to risk a re-injury like happens a lot?
Yeah,
and just
no like hyperextension or anything like that.
Knowing
it's kind of
just knowing that you're not playing for him this year necessarily.
Yeah, because you look at it now, he's 13 months out from the time he tore it. So this whole offseason is the best offseason for him, I think. So I think this is where he's going to start accelerating, and that value is going to start increasing again.
So I'm not concerned yet. I know you're asking Ryan, but I'm not concerned yet. Dan, it's really if we see that trend come into year 2 where that's happening, that I think there's got to be a major concern if you see that is year 2 starts to the first 4 weeks or whatever. If you don't see that that's turned the corner, I can see the argument for he's coming back. There's a lot of re-injury risk coming back off of ACL tears. Get him acclimated, get his feet wet in some NFL games, but don't overdo it or overextend it. People weren't expecting a lot out of the Lions this year, and they exceeded expectations by all accounts. So for Jameson, to me, it's going into next year. If that's a trend at the beginning of the season, then I'm concerned. I'm not concerned yet.
It's more so, I get it obviously coming back. Like no one expects him the first few games.
Okay.
This was a fringe playoff team that was battling for a wild card spot that absolutely needed his ability to stretch the field. You trade up for him, made all this move. Why couldn't there have been more of a slight escalation? I'm not saying he needs to go out there and post 60 plus, but 40, 50 design deep plays like he's got to be a bigger threat to the defense it's playing against than Josh Reynolds and then Khalif Raymond. Obviously, I get it with St. Brown. They play different roles. Like even DJ Chark, because he is basically that's what he could become too if he doesn't reach his full potential. But it was more so. I'm not like go sell him right now or nothing like that. Again, I was already slightly lower on him than most were. It's just that stood out to me of he's so fucking fast and he torches teams. You have a fantastic offense, a line that can allow these double play moves to be used. Why couldn't we see him just slightly more? That, like, especially towards the end, especially when you need to beat a team like Carolina to give yourself a better shot at getting into the postseason. I don't care what the team's expectation was in week 1. That was completely erased by week 16, 17, 14, 15, when they were on that 6-game winning streak. A post Hawkinson trade. Like that is, I'm just wondering if, like, why would that be the case? It's just how important he is. Just more of, I guess, an observation more so, because I agree. There's no need to trade off of him. If you spend a high pick on him, means you like him. Why change now?
And maybe it was DJ Chark.
Again, Josh Reynolds.
But Chark was missing time too.
They run a lot of three wide receiver sets. It's why
Josh
not
Reynolds,
just put him in Josh
Freeman.
Reynolds spots? Yeah,
They had other double tight ends too.
Just an observation from a team that makes a lot of good decisions. This one just really scratched my head.
It's worth noting. I agree. I just don't think you can adjust on it until early next season.
Don't make any big. I will keep saying it. Don't make any big moves.
If it continues into early next season, I'll change my tone. Right now, I'm just okay. Yeah, it's year 1. He was coming off an injury. They had established veterans that had rapport with Goff. That they were in the middle of a 6-game winning streak. Maybe it was don't rock the boat. Maybe it was that he wasn't all the way ready to come back. I don't know. But there's a lot of different what ifs that I can play there. It's just like, all right, give him another offseason to heal up, and then let's see where we go.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, taking it further, Jahan Dotson and Treylon Burks being the next two. These two guys were seen very, very differently. Whereas Treylon Burks was seen as a guy with huge upside, who went lower. Jahan Dotson was seen as a more of that kind of sneaky mid-round guy, along with Jalen Tolbert. They panned out completely differently. They didn't really destroy it or show the high-end upside in college that could do a little bit. And I think what you saw out of Dotson was that, there's definitely some talent there to be excited about. He was definitely more of a touchdown monster than anything. He only caught 35 balls. They turned that into 523 yards and 7 touchdowns. And he missed time. He missed 5 games.
He was great in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And he missed 5 games. And he was playing with a rotating cast of quarterbacks there as well. So a lot of eyes going to be on Washington this year. Dotson's somebody that I like is, even a potential buy at the right price. And that right price is, somewhere in the range of what you'd expect a wide receiver 3 to be. Because I think he's got some serious 2 upside, especially with the deep ball ability. I mean, you go 500 yards on only 35 receptions with 7 touchdowns. That's some serious efficiency right there, even though it wasn't quite enough volume to make that matter. But week to week, pretty decent. And I think that he did live up to what a lot of people thought he was going to be in the draft and left enough excitement there for him. Not talked about.
Same excitement he had at Penn State.
Yeah.
Cheap, probably a bit cheaper than, if you're trying to go out there and acquire the rest of these first round receivers.
You should be, yeah.
Yeah, especially Treylon Burks too.
Yeah.
Like he's probably the cheapest of all of them.
I'm interested to see
what
the obvious touchdown regression he'll have and what this Washington offense is going to look like.
Dotson. Yeah, I think the hope with Dotson is that the touchdown regression as far as frequency will fall, but that there's more volume there over the, 35 receptions.
I mean,
that he had. Yeah.
I mean, if you go look at his game logs, the amount of snaps he played, the routes he ran, my concern is that there's not much more room to grow outside of him trying to command more targets. 16% target share. It's difficult to see a leap.
Well, I think the leap comes from the quarterback position, I think.
That's part of it, right? And 15.9% on half of what he had in snap share. I'm a lot more excited. He's on the field a lot. running a lot of routes.
It's a good
and
thing.
he's he's out, yes, but as you said, stature doesn't matter unless you're giving me a lot of production or commanding a lot of targets, which he's not doing.
Yeah.
And my one caveat, my one pause is that he's not going to earn much more. Maybe he'll get closer to 90 every game, and you might see a slight uptick. But
so 16% target share.
Yeah.
So I think if you could see him creep up closer to that 18% target share.
So French 3 probably
Just
French
a touch.
3-4 most seasons.
3-4.
Just a touch, but continue to work that deep. And again, I think that, a couple things. One, these are rookies we're talking about, right? To say that there's not a lot of room for them to develop, I think it is incorrect. There's not a lot of room for him to grow his routes run. I agree. But to say there's not a lot of room for the player to develop as a rookie going into year 2.
I should have phrased it. Better. You're right.
Is different. And as a player develops, I think you can command a higher target share, especially not drawing top coverage on the team and with that ability to work deep. And if you command and if they upgrade at quarterback to somebody that spreads it a little bit more, become a little less reliant on the running game, especially bringing Bieniemy in as the OC.
Well, that's the hope, right?
Yeah,
that
the hope is that you see a little bit of a jump there. So I think for me with Dotson is that, you've seen, if you don't have one of those top guys, right, what do you want to see? You want to see flashes of potential in year 1, and I think you've seen that. Do I think Dotson's ever going to be somebody we talk about as a dynasty wide receiver 1? No, I don't. But do I think he'll be somebody we talk about as a 2 or a 3 that's one of those usable depth pieces on a roster that I preach a lot? Yeah, I definitely see that in the range of outcomes, especially given the deep ball ability, especially given the touchdown upside. And yeah, you can't expect 7 touchdowns on 35 receptions every year, but to expect that this is a guy that can catch 7 to 9 touchdowns every year, especially if the target volume increases, which target volume increases, touchdown rate decreases, same counting numbers. Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think that's something that I'd be pretty happy with given, where he went in most rookie drafts, and especially if you're down on him right now. I think what I'm looking at here when I say buy is there room to go upward? And I think for him, there is. What you saw was flashes that does go upward with an upgraded quarterback, an upgraded offensive scheme, and just continued player development in year 2.
He'll develop as a player, absolutely.
Route runs, I agree with you, though.
In terms of production growth, that's, again, obviously you want to see. I mean, I don't want to keep, obviously, on this, but it's.
No, we got to get to somebody you like a lot more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. My concern is Dotson. That's just what it is.
Treylon Burks is another one that I think we're going to talk about. Probably in the same vein. 33, 444, just 1 touchdown. Again, not on a good offense, first and foremost. Missed time, a lot like Jahan Dotson did. Not conducive to the pass.
The asthma killed him, too. That's what kind of knocked his value down.
Where are you at with Burks now, Dan? You were the highest on this.
I mean, 17.6 target share. Obviously, very similar type of scenario with Dotson, just running significantly less routes and snaps. Obviously, that changed towards the end of the season where he was averaging right around 80%. Burks is probably the problem is also Tennessee, and they're in this completely fucking weird state where is it going to be Tannehill? It's definitely not going to be Malik Willis. What are the twilight years going to look like with Derrick Henry? And at some point, will this offense kind of refluctuate itself? I'm a little nervous that Burks just won't reach his potential on his team. He's already a raw prospect given the way that Arkansas used him. And there are definitely flashes there, and there's definitely room to grow in terms of opportunity. The team is fucking scares me, and I think he may be a better potential buy low when he gets moved from his team, or it may not be it, right? A lot of people said it was either him or London are gonna fucking break out, and one of them is gonna bust. And
Fair.
London's on a better trajectory with significant, with 10 picks or 10, 11 picks may be between them, but top 5, top 6 is a lot better than top 18. So even draft capital is better and just less competition. So I'm concerned, right? I still love Burks. Again, I'm not going to change too much until we see more from this year, but that Tennessee offense, man, it's in that direction I'm going. I see them going is may not yield a lot of fantasy. He's not AJ Brown. We'll just say that.
So as you say that, like, because you sound very nervous about Treylon Burks in this offense. So I could see him as a buy low. Like, you could get him at a good value now.
I mean,
of the trajectory that everyone sees.
Yeah.
Like,
sure. And you're right. Sorry, go ahead, Hopper.
No, I was going to say that you're right, but at the same time, like, you can get him at that. But with London on a better trajectory and Dotson showing a little bit more in the rookie season, you can get him on a buy low right now. But, for what, right? What's Tennessee changing in the offensive scheme? What are they doing at quarterback?
And he's playing against number ones already too. He is the team number ones.
Where is Dotson's going to be playing against twos because of the presence of McLaurin. So, I don't want to play the comparison game. I think it's reasonable to be more nervous about Burks. Again, just lower productivity, on higher target share, but fewer routes run. And, just you can buy low, but you're really banking on getting some future glimpses at what might give that a change or upside, right?
Yep.
Right.
He's the one that, like, I guess like Jameson, we got to see what this next year. He missed a lot of time this year. Tennessee was just all over the place, multiple quarterback changes because Daniel couldn't stay healthy. And Burks showed flashes. It's, he was, again, raw prospect, maybe the landing spot's not there, but
yeah. I like the comparison with Williams. I think that Williams, Burks, and even to a degree Dotson are going to be some guys when we get to redraft that we're talking about is, take them low because there's good upside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Moving on. The only other skill position in the first round was Kenny Pickett. So 389 pass attempts, 2,400 yards, 10 total touchdowns to 9 picks, 237 yards on the Steelers did not make a change at offensive coordinator. Most things project Pickett will start again next year.
God, it's stats.
A disaster.
Bad.
No game with no double-digit touchdown. Like
double-digit touchdowns.
There's no double. There's no double multi-touchdown games. Wow, words.
Like
I hate it when my quarterbacks don't throw double-digit touchdowns.
I know. God damn it! Why don't
I want 10 touchdowns
10 plus,
every
please?
week.
Really?
1.8% touchdown rate is really, really. When your interception rate's higher than your touchdown rate, that's not good. When your touchdown rate's that low, that's really, really not good.
It's just like, oh, Canada, not like the national. They're like, oh, Canada. It's like, oh shit, Canada. Like, why would you keep Matt Canada with this?
Why would you? I hope they like. Why would you continue to be mediocre if you're Pittsburgh? Cool, you went 9-8. You didn't have a losing season. You're still fucked. Like, Pickett's not the answer. Like, maybe there's some growth, but I was very concerned from his high end upside. He's journeyman. Maybe some plus to it. Probably long career backup, but Pittsburgh doesn't like. We have no clue if they're like how quickly they're going to move on from him if they do. We'll likely take a Mike Tomlin being fired, which if they're French playoff hopes every year, that may not happen. The one upside Pickett has is probably he's going to be started for 2-3 more years.
Yeah.
And you can sell him on that idea. So sell him on that idea, and maybe you can get a 23 first.
It can't get any worse, right? So wait till it gets better next year. And
man, Matt Canada.
He has one game over 300 passing yards, and in that game he had no touchdowns and one interception.
all right,
And it was against Buffalo on 52 attempts.
enough. If we want to keep this to where we're going here, let's get to the second round running backs. Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and James Cook were the second round running backs. Obviously, two of those much better rookie season than the third.
Man, Cook, I can't wait for Buffalo to re-sign Devin Singletary or to potentially bring in like a Miles Sanders or something.
Yeah, someone's going there. It's going to ruin that backfield.
Yeah, Breece Hall.
Or they spend another day 3, round 3 pick on a rookie running back.
Breece Hall in 7 games was performing really, really well. Before the ACL tear, clean tear, expect him to come back fine next season and be an early round draft pick. I don't think there's anything to talk about with Breece Hall. You know what he is.
No.
Maybe a slight slow start.
Yeah.
Buy low window for you when he starts slow next year.
Oh, yeah. Breece Hall, too. He only had 4 rushing touchdowns, and that, I think, 2 or 3 of them were poached by
he had 4
Carter
rushing
at the 1 yard line.
7 games, though. I mean, that's still
Jets
pacing
offense.
double digits, yeah.
It's gonna be
But
better
the Jets
next
offense,
year.
they also had a lot of like Breece Hall
Zach
getting
Wilson.
tackled inside the 5 and not getting that touchdown. And then
So he's
Michael Carter
Swift.
coming in.
Yeah.
He got Jamal Williams by
It'll be
Michael
fine.
Carter, who's smaller than him. Oh my god.
Kenneth Walker, over 1,000 yards on 228 carries is not necessarily super efficient. 9 touchdowns is good. 27 receptions for 165 yards is a little better than I think we were expecting out of him. So
He did it in high school.
Yeah.
He was a very good receiver in high school.
He looked comfortable doing it in college too. He just wasn't asked to do it. So I mean,
Yeah.
Also wasn't asked to do it a lot this year, but you know.
Yeah. Well,
But when he did,
Yeah.
he did it. He did it well.
that's all right.
Yeah. 5
I
games
think
to 1
this
or
is
less
fine,
targets. The last
especially
6
if you
games
see
of
the
the year.
Seahawks improve the offense and everything around them. I think that there's not a whole lot to talk about there either. And for James Cook, it's once again a watch Buffalo, I guess. Watch what they do with Singletary. Watch what this role is. He showed some explosiveness. He flashed a little bit, but didn't put anything together consistently.
He's a best ball running back I kind of like. Like if I was doing best ball drafts right now, he'd be the one I'd want to take.
But James
just
Cook.
because just because you know that he's gonna have 1 or 2 of those games where he explodes like he did last season.
Until I take Bijan.
Got some interesting wide receivers that went in this round too.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Christian Watson going first. We'll work through these kind of one at a time. So any thoughts on Watson?
So high.
Sell high, yeah.
So
Not
high?
buy, I'm sorry, sell high.
Yeah.
That team's gonna be fucking terrible. High touchdown rate too.
41 receptions, 600 yards, 7 touchdowns. Oft injured, missed 3 games. So yeah, sell high if you can.
9 total touchdowns.
Not a lot
If
to
you
go
want
there.
bootleg Jahan Dotson,
That's true. Basically, what it
literally
is,
outside of significantly more yards
except
after the catch. That's the only
offensive
good bet thing about him.
situations should be hit in different directions. Wan'Dale Robinson. I got nothing. You shouldn't have drafted him in the first place.
Dude, Giants have nobody else to throw to. I guess that's the only thing we have right now.
So we mentioned earlier Houston having nothing, and I can't take that type of John Mechie disrespect because Mechie will be healthy coming into next season. He's already completed treatment. He's going to be ready for OTAs. So you've got him coming in potentially as the wide receiver 1 even. This is a forgotten buy low for me.
Oh yeah, I like him.
No matter what happens, he's already a win in my book.
Yes.
Yep.
I will forever, regardless of how I felt about him as a prospect, I will forever be
I liked him as a prospect
John
too.
Mechie
So.
fan too. I was, warm on him. Lukewarm
I
on
liked him for what he was.
Still, yeah.
But, I don't think he's going to be elite, but he's definitely got some volume-based 2 upside, and I think that this is a good buy low because a lot of people have forgotten, right? It's a
He
what
might
have
be
you done for
dropped.
me lately, lead. He could be dropped. He's probably stashed on taxi squads and places, and this is a guy that the Texans are definitely planning on being a huge part of their plans. They're in line for a quarterback in this draft that, could even be Bryce Young, depending on how things go. So just
See,
we'll see. Tyquan Thornton doesn't deserve a mention.
nope, we're good.
George Pickens. This is definitely a buy low.
We
for
can
me.
stop here.
I like him.
Oh man,
Exciting.
God, if it
800
wasn't Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada as his OC,
This
Crazy. He
is
had 4 more, and he had 4 more touchdowns than
he had
what was
4.
his name,
He
man?
had 4 touchdowns.
he had 4 less touchdowns, or 2 less. He had 5 total touchdowns this year.
Pickens. Yeah, he had
Yeah, Pickens.
3 less receiving touchdowns than Dotson. 300 more receiving yards on 20 some odd receptions. I think they're both, but Pickens is, I mean, he does have the elite upside. Is a one, unlike Dotson does. His ceiling is a lot higher, I think.
More big play potential. He is very similar. If you're looking at his overall metrics, he's very similar to Dotson
They are.
in terms of
And they're probably
opportunity.
and they're probably viewed entirely differently too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make you like Dotson a lot more by the end of this episode, aren't I? Because I
I might be a little more worried
Pickens.
about Pickens. I mean, I love Pickens, but it's Pickens just gets more big playability, and what we saw from him post the post move to Kenny Pickett long term, which is all great. It's just opportunity upside. Again, if I'm gonna raise the concern about Dawson, I have to raise the concern about Pickens because it's the same thing. It's 80 plus route runs and or snap shares, heavy routes ran usage, 15.6 target share. It's the same thing. I can't fall back on it. It's just a significantly higher deep target rate and air yards.
I think the
that's
difference
the biggest
is gonna
difference.
be price and who you're trying to acquire. People aren't going to want to come off Pickens because of perception. If you like George Pickens and you can't get him at a price that you want, go to Jahan Dotson. But Pickens
you just
as a
hope,
whole,
you just hope that all the immaculate and big plays he got is going to contribute to a higher increase in target share. And I think he can beat out Deontay Johnson and earn more than I think that Dotson will against McLaurin. That's the spin I take. But you're right, because of value, right? Dotson will probably cost less than Pickens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce, Sky Moore. Alec Pierce, 593 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sky Moore, 250 and 0. Pierce, a little bit more of a deep threat. This is all kind of
Yeah, I love Sky Moore, but no.
This is all gonna be
he showed up in the playoffs and he showed up in the Super
He got
Bowl
a touchdown on a play that was ran earlier.
Yeah.
The opposite.
for him.
The opposite.
Yeah, the opposite field.
Trey McBride out in Arizona as a tight end didn't do a whole heck of a lot.
Not surprised.
We already talked James Cook. All right, we're gonna blow
You can buy
through just some guys next round. We don't need to talk about Bayless Jones.
Nope.
Jelani Woods, decent rookie season for a tight end. I'd watch this and pay attention. 25 receptions, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. For a tight end, that's pretty decent for year one.
Especially as raw as he was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For a raw
definitely.
athletic guy, this is definitely a guy you want to watch into year 2 and year 3.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. That's absolutely right.
Desmond Ridder, 115 attempts, 700 yards, 2 touchdowns. He'll probably open as a starter for Atlanta next year, and we'll see. You're not really moving the needle on him at all. Greg Dulcich, best rookie season out of any of the tight ends. Again, rookie tight ends producing. You definitely want to pay attention to them.
Yep.
Malik Willis.
Nope.
Busted.
Nope.
I think
Just move off.
the mention here is that you need to move off of him because a lot of people saw him as a prospect you'd want to develop, and that didn't pan out. Same thing with Jalen Tolbert. Was inactive most of the time.
That one hurts. That one stings.
Yeah.
That one stings a lot. But
Even with all the
Especially without
injuries, he
Ba-
never got on the field.
and with how bad Dallas's receiving core was, like, dude, outside of like Lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Rashad White, TDP, and Brian Robinson Jr.
If San Francisco drafts a running back in the 3rd round, you don't
do
take
it.
him.
All right, so let's talk Rashad White and Brian Robinson then.
At least White catches passes, but that whole offense is now changed with Tom Brady gone. Robinson's
Fournette will probably be gone too, though. So that puts White
he's under
right now
contract.
as
He's
a
still
lead back.
he's still under contract. He's
Fournette
still under contract with them.
is, but he's cuttable too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bad offense, but at least he catches passes better than Brian Robinson, who's in the committee backfield on an offense that's ascending, but he doesn't catch passes.
he did have 200 carries though. So in just 12
Fringe
games,
fringe
which is
RB2,
worth
which is
noting.
fine.
That's a fringe RB2. That's
He's fine.
good amount of work. Nothing on David Bell.
Nope. I
Okay.
still like
No.
him, but nope.
Rucker to tight end they shouldn't have drafted the Jets.
Kate Otten, decent work. Again, Bucks offense, we don't know what they're going to do with, but 42 receptions, 391 yards, and touchdowns as a tight end.
That's 42 receptions.
Yeah, quietly.
Wow,
That's pretty good.
That's surprising.
That's a quiet. Watch him. Just watch other dynasty people.
So he had
in your
more
leagues potentially drop them. Just
So he had more receptions
speculative pickup.
and the same amount of touchdowns as Dulcich.
Speculative pickup for sure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the offense is probably going in the wrong direction. But
still,
I didn't take a lot of time to develop, and
They
you can
do.
stay in that team for a lot
And
longer than
Yep.
this is another
These
one of
wide
those
receivers, running
like
backs.
Dotson and Pickens, where the perceptions are going to be completely different between Otten and Dulcich, I think.
because I had no fucking clue
Yeah.
that Kate Octon was actually productive this year.
Right.
No, none of us did.
My bad, guys. I had no clue.
Damian Pearson, round 4. He'll probably
Sell.
be replaced. So
Just
Yeah,
so,
Michael Carter.
as much as I love him, yeah, he's Michael Carter, James Robinson.
Daniel Bellinger's just a watch. Tight ends you don't rule out in year 1.
Yeah, productive. He end of season production for the
Hey,
Giants.
Isaiah Spiller.
Zamir White too. Don't forget him.
Cool running back, so we don't need to care about it anymore. Perfect.
Yep. And we move on. And I'm
Did
the
we
pure
ever
short we
need to
go.
care about Isaiah Spiller?
No. I just thought you mentioned him because you were going over him.
Oh, why
over
was that?
Zamir White.
Why would I mention Isaiah Spiller? Oh, yeah, because I hated him.
Hates a strong word.
And other people thought he was getting
Yeah. Guilty.
41 yards in his rookie.
Blame the Debbie community.
Who's right? Well, I shouldn't victory lap. Give me 2
No.
because I'm not going to be right.
Hey, but look who went
Watch
after
him
him.
become
Cade.
Kalen Balaj.
Look at Cade York. One pick after Isaiah Spiller. Good kicker for Cleveland.
That's right.
Right. I don't know who that is. Don't know who those guys are. There's a punter drafted to Baltimore.
Probably good. They
N-
draft punter as well.
Nothing out of Haskins. Romeo Doubs fell. Offense
Yep.
is going downhill.
Yeah.
Good luck selling.
Dobbs has like nothing left.
Bailey
He lost
Zappi
a lot of
was
his
fun
value.
for a little bit.
He was a cool
Isaiah
story.
liking.
Yeah. I think
Tyler Algier, 5th
So-
round.
hold for me.
Yeah, I know.
200
So
carries
so.
over 1,000 yards. Hold. Wait and
He's
see.
Damian Pierce with a little more flash to his name now.
Chig
So.
Okonkwo, 32, 450, and 3. Another tight end in this class that could be something.
Could be
Pick him up. Sam Howell in the 5th.
worth it.
He'll be a starter.
Slight stash. He has stash.
Slight stash. Don't buy. Khalil Shakir's a stash for now.
A lot of metrics like him.
Yep.
And Buffalo is still starving for number 2.
Algier, you can't just bail out on. I mean, you can sell high, and I probably won't blame you, but you could also hold, and I won't blame you there either. Over 1,000 yards, 200 carries over 1,000 yards is a rookie
Yeah.
round 5 pick.
It's
is
just
pretty
me and
good.
how I feel about day 3 running backs. It's
He performed.
this is what you want from them,
Yeah.
so you can maximize the
Hell,
opportunity to
1,000
eventually
yards
sell
is
high.
what you want from your day 2 running backs.
Yeah, right. God damn you, Tyrion Davis Price.
Kyron Williams. Look at
Oh my
that.
God, fucking no.
No. Nope. I don't
I'm
think-
just
that
waiting
was
for
a
us to at
bust.
least get to Pacheco, which is I think the last interesting conversation we can have. I mean, is there any other player that has any remote true conversation that we could probably spend time on and then bow the fuck out? Brock Purdy, I guess, but
Tyler
that's
Beatty
it's
went to his
irrelevant.
second team.
Kevin
That's
Harris?
Somebody we liked. No. Keontae Ingram just held as a backup and didn't do anything.
Pierce Strong is going to be the new Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
Just
What about
will
Ty
take 2
Chandler in
years.
Minnesota?
Very strong. I know. Um,
Depends what they do with the backup running backs with Madison
Yeah.
and what they do with Cook.
So nothing there. We don't need to talk Bo Melton or whoever that is or Chris Oladokum. Skylar Thompson got into a couple games. Yay.
He was a thing. He helped almost beat Buffalo.
Yeah, let's just do Isaiah Pacheco
Yeah.
because that's the last person we need to talk about. Oh, Brock Purdy. We got to talk Brock Purdy.
He's the last pick. We start with Pacheco,
yeah.
and then we'll end with
Those are
Brock
the last
Purdy.
two, Pacheco and Purdy.
All right, we'll start with Pacheco because I again, his value is all over the fucking place, and everyone thinks that the Chiefs are going to draft the running back. I don't think it matters because I think they're going to draft a McKinnon replacement, not just a flat out replacement. I think Pacheco still carries value, and the biggest difference between him and Damian Pierce and Tyler Algier is that he's on a top 5 offense, and he has got an insane scoring potential.
I think
Fringe RB, he's an
flip-
RB2.
Yeah, I think that the flip side of that is that right now Algier and Pierce have the backfield themselves. Pacheco, we've seen the Chiefs are going to go RBBC.
The Falcons still have Cordell Patterson. I don't think he has a backfield to himself.
Yeah, he carried the ball 200 times for over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he doesn't catch passes. I don't really care.
catch passes, but they're all RB2s. So,
They're all RB2s.
Yeah.
that's basically what it amounts to. None of them's a buy. I don't see them going that much higher, right? You could make a case for all of them to be sells or holds.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, very easily could make cases for all 3 of them for both scenarios.
Brock Purdy's having UCL surgery. Do we need to talk Brock Purdy? We've talked a lot of Purdy.
No, sell him if you can.
13 touchdowns, 4 picks. It's a good sell in Superflex or yeah. I mean,
Find a Niners fan in your league. I think every league has one, at least one.
Yep. That's all we got.
Everyone wants his football card too.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, bye.
Yep. We'll catch you next week. We're gonna preview the combine.
All right.
Some rookie talk. Kick that off. Okay, bye.
Ooh, okay, bye.
See ya. I don't want to be ya. Well, maybe.